They're all over the place. Get them. They're so close.
I got one.
Don't get cocky, kid.
But it's a Pod Bros exclusive. What's up, everybody? I'm Richard,
And I'm Shawn.
and we're speaking the language of bromance. What is the greatest thing in the world, Shawn? What is the thing that you feel you do that makes you a man?
What makes me a man?
What is it that makes you, Shawn, a man?
I have to say it's making sweet, sweet love to my lady.
Yes. And what happens when you make that sweet, sweet love? I mean, before the crying.
Really, I have to throw this back to Richard Pryor in one of his skits. He always says, like, the greatest feeling in the world is, like, you know, when you give that lady that really good loving, that she falls asleep right afterwards. And it's one of those scenarios where you walk around, your hands on your hip, and you're like, I'm macho man.
Right?
That's the best feeling in the world.
When you have conquered the mysterious multi-headed hydra known as the female orgasm, you feel good. Honestly, like if I'm able to satisfy, like, you know, not if, when I'm able, huh? Yeah, when.
It always happens.
Damn it.
Don't judge
Every time. And then the crying starts. But before that, when I have satisfied a woman and I can see it, you know, because sometimes, like, you know, you're kind of in that, like, I don't know, is she happy?
It's like, was that all right?
Was
you know,
was that good? Are you mad? Are you mad?
Was that special
No.
for you?
When that happens, like, I feel like fucking Conan the Barbarian, and I lay there and I put my hands behind my head like a barbarian king.
Yeah.
You know,
they
that
give
has
you
just slayed his great beast.
well, they give you that look like, oh man, you know, it's like you can just tell they're like, oh, that was that. Because if you have that, at least this is my experience. If it's okay, it's just kind of like, you know, there's like, oh yeah, and, you know, clean up and go to sleep. But then there's the times when they're like, oh man, that was amazing, that was good.
Exactly. Now, on this note, I have discovered a product that will not only make this job easier for us as men, but will also, I think, you know, bring in not a new sexual revolution. Also will revive and cause to thrive an industry that it's had its faults and it's had its downs, but it's got its comeuppance. It's getting its comeuppance. All right, so I'm gonna give you the headline of this story.
All right, hit me with this headline. What's gonna make my love life better or easier?
Yeah. Here we go. Pot-based lubricant will soon be on sale in Colorado.
Uh-oh.
That's right. Pot-based lubricant. I'll give you the first paragraph. This is a marijuana-based spray which claims to be the first sexual lubricant designed specifically to improve sex for women goes on sale in Colorado next week.
So my first question is this legal anywhere else?
Okay, here's the thing. Since it is a marijuana-based lubricant, and as we all know, there's a lot of things going on. There's a lot of, like, membrane transfer going on in the downstairs of the lady fuck parts.
Lady fuck parts.
That's right. Lady fuck parts.
That's what they teach you in school, kids.
Stay in school. Don't do drugs. Except this. So yeah. Since you know, obviously things transfer very easily and whatnot, and it is marijuana based, this will actually cause you to. This would result in a positive on any sort of like drug screen.
Okay.
Like I said, this is why it's being sold in California. Actually, I think in some states you're gonna need an actual prescription
Uh,
in order to get this lubricant because of its content. It's an edible coconut oil-based spray because it's got to be edible.
Oh, okay. So it's edible. So it's not. Is it not technically a lubricant then?
It's the way I'm looking at the bottle, and this product is called looks like it's called Foria, Foria.
Okay.
So I'm looking at the bottle, and it looks like it spritzes. It looks like a spritz bottle, like like you push the top and then it like sprays. So my guess is the way it works is like you hold it, you hold it over the designated target area. And you just you just spray it down,
But
you're shaming a dog.
Yeah, but it's edible. So you take it orally, or
well, it's coconut. No. I mean, I think it's edible because they're saying it's edible because hey, you can spray this and then
okay.
like bury your face in it. and we're all fine. Like nobody's gonna die. Although I wonder if you spray it. Okay, say you use it, and then you're drilling away with your tongue. Like, will you drop positive as a man on a drug screen? Because you just is it like eating a pot cookie?
I would say so, because isn't it like you can? I don't know for sure because I've never smoked pot, but don't they say that like if you're in a room you can get secondhand, like you can take it in secondhand and still test positive, or is that?
Well, I mean, it's like eating it's like that episode of Seinfeld where Elaine eats the poppy seed muffin.
Oh yeah,
and then she tests positive for opiates.
I've heard that.
So I would think.
Okay.
Let's see. Aphrodite Group, the California-based medical marijuana collective that sells the potion, said the majority of women who use it won't get high, but will feel more relaxed. The product was launched several months ago in California, but will go on sale in Colorado at an Aspen marijuana boutique just in time for the X Games, which begin on January 22nd.
Because nobody likes to fuck as much as people at the X Games.
Right?
That's awesome.
Bunch of dudes walking around with a, "What's up, bruh? Guess what I got?"
So
you spraying down your neck. I'll keep it real, bro.
So you can't really get high from it, is what they say, but you'll feel more relaxed.
That's what they're saying. Apparently, It's supposed to relax the body, and because of the way nerve endings work in Lady Town. I don't know. I'm trying to find. It's hard to find like good ways to refer to.
No, Lady Town is amazing. I think you've hit every single one. What was the first one? Lady Fuck Parts, and now we got Lady Town.
Parts. I like that one.
That's awesome.
So, I would think that it kind of like activates. I don't know what, but it's doing something.
Well, I know
I'd be totally down for this. I mean, why not?
Yeah, definitely.
Because I mean, the one mystery that we all have as men is like, how can I get a consistent, like, pleasured woman? Because I mean, like, I don't know, like the way sex usually goes. I mean, this is just speaking from my own personal experience, but like, it's usually done when the guy feels like being done.
Yeah. Well, I think guys, it's like everyone's pretty much the same. Like you don't really have like, oh my god, that was the greatest one ever. But like ladies, it seems like there's varies. They have like the ones like, yeah, it was one, or it's like, oh good lord, that was that was the one.
Right. They're I mean, it's just all about how it gets, how they write it. Yeah, because I can't really say like I've had a more intense. I can't really say that my orgasm. I mean, this is just me. Like I said, just me talking. But I don't think had like a difference in intensity on orgasms.
Yeah.
They've all been the same, and they're all amazing.
Yeah, I think it's like somebody said, I think it was Jeff Foxworthy. He's like, guys are kind of like, bottle rockets, but girls are like diesel engines, they just keep go. They take a while to warm up, but they keep going and going.
Yes.
Yeah, it's always cool because like with stuff like that, like I wonder if it was reversed, if women would feel more like sensitive about it. So it's like, oh, you only have better orgasms when we use this spray. But like as a dude, it's like you have a better orgasm with this spray. It's like let's use this every time.
The mixture is not designed to be used like a standard lubricant, but is designed to be applied at least a half an hour before sex.
Oh wow, it's a long time.
So I'll tell you what, though, I think I actually kind of like this. The fact that they're like half an hour before, because like let's say you get home from work, and like you get home from work and you put your shit down or whatever, and you're like, I'm gonna go to the bedroom and change, and you walk into the bedroom and you see like the bottle on the on the end of the dresser, and then you're like, holy shit, I'm getting laid tonight.
Start the clock now.
Oh, count it down. I wonder if she did it right before I walked in the door, or if it's already been a half hour.
No, I'm thinking of it more like this. Like you kind of have it like in hand, and like your lady friend goes to use the restroom, and you just kind of walk up, and
right?
Catch her while she's down.
Like you had your ear on the door, and you hear this, tss, 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 and you're like, yes. You know what that is? That is like walking. It's like when you were a kid. And you walk out like Christmas morning, and you see this gigantic ass fucking present with a big fucking bow on it, and you're like, holy shit, that's gonna be mine. I'm gonna open it soon. And I don't know what it is, but it's gonna be awesome.
That's the Pavlovian. So now, like, if she's like watering the plants, you hear
it is.
You're
it's
like,
the
oh
equivalent
god,
of a bell. So then what? It's the bell ringing. So then what'll happen is like 3 months down the road is like she's gonna be like, hang on, I gotta water the plants, and then I'll get hard.
That's awesome.
And you're sitting in like your therapist's office, and you're like, I don't understand. Every time she tells the dog no, then I become aroused.
It expands. So you're
no,
like,
Poochie, stop doing that. Stop. Just put the bottle down.
I was thinking more like you're walking down the street during a hot day of summer, and somebody's watering the lawn. And you hear. It's like, oh, we got to go home.
I gotta go. Something just came up.
But I think it's I'm all for like anything to make it more fun, make it more pleasurable. I'm curious with that kind of stuff,
especially for the ladies. I mean, they need love.
Yeah.
I mean, we've already we've talked about like male birth control and like how that would help maybe for the lady, and how birth control methods for women, a little barbaric. Not the modern. They've not benefited from this technological revolution in terms of the feminine care department for Lady Town.
I love Lady Town.
Who doesn't?
Ugh. But
except other people that don't. And
there's
there's anything wrong with that. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think.
Let's see.
Yeah. So let's see. Yeah. Lady Town. The thing that's interesting with that kind of stuff though is, I'm curious what the longing effect of that is. Like, so I know, like you were talking about, like you come home and a little squirt action, so it's like, oh, we got 30 minutes before it's game time. But I know sometimes with those things, like I've heard of people who have used these, like, because there's like cinnamon based ones. I don't know if you've ever heard of this, but
I have not.
It's like a thing you put wherever, and it kind of gets some stuff going. But the problem is, if you use that too early, from what I've heard, is that the story goes is like, you put it on right before you go out on night on the town, so the lady's all excited while you're at dinner, and it just starts intensifying. But the problem is that everything kind of starts to dry out, but that cinnamon burning sensation stays. So it does get kind of intense, but then it starts to burn and become uncomfortable. So by the time you
Okay.
get home, your lady's like, "Yeah, I need to get in the shower, and I am in no mood to have any kind of relations right now."
Oh.
So I'm curious with this because it sounds different because it's not more of a it's more of a relaxing type thing. If that would be more beneficial, like you're about ready to go out for night on a dinner, maybe some dancing, a little squirt action before you head out, and before you know it, when you get home, game time.
Let's see, they're talking about like a half hour, but I don't know if it's like a half hour for it to take full effect and then it winds down. I'm not sure. It's a blend of liquid coconut oil and lab tested cannabis oil from California grown marijuana. Because the best marijuana comes from California.
Is that true?
Oh yeah. Real California marijuana. The reason why marijuana is so prevalent in California is especially up north is the way the weather works there. It's especially in Northern California, the summers are fairly mild and the summers are fairly mild and the winters are mildly cold. I mean, it's not overly cold. It usually stays kind of a relative temperature. So this, it doesn't get super hot in the summer. It doesn't get super cold in the winter. So there, you're actually able, if let's say you're growing, if you're growing pot outside, you're actually able to grow, harvest, and grow again in the course of like a calendar year. So you can actually run 2 crops a year.
Gotcha. Well, yeah, that's probably why like the greatest, like some of the best wineries in the United States are in California because it's just perfect climate for growing things.
Exactly. Like there's actually an area in Northern California, they call it the Emerald Triangle because so much is grown there. It's like it's the Napa Valley. Like I feel like once marijuana legalization kind of starts to proliferate and stuff like that, I think that like Northern California is going to be known as like the Napa Valley of marijuana. I mean, yeah, you can grow it indoors, but like, apparently it's also something to do with the dirt in that particular area too. But I don't know.
I'm not sure. I wonder if they get a runoff from the mountains or something like that helps.
Yeah, maybe.
That...
The potion costs $44 for 10 milliliters or $88 for 30 milliliters, but is currently only available to residents of California who have a letter from their doctor or a medical marijuana card.
So what Susie goes in to get her vagina spray, and it's like, oh, I see you have a vaginal erectile dysfunction. It's like, works for me. Here's your spray.
Well, basically, I mean, as like I can't remember the name of the card. I think it's called a Prop 215 or 815. I want to say 215. But that it's the state proposition. You go to a doctor. This is actually in an episode. There is a show on CNN, hosted by Morgan Spurlock called Inside Man. Have you ever seen this show? Okay, so Morgan Spurlock, as we all know, the guy from Super Size Me who ate nothing but McDonald's for 30 days straight. He has this show where he puts himself he takes a debate over some issue like medical marijuana or things like that, and kind of like puts himself on like the ground, like on the ground in terms of like what this debate means for certain people. So in this episode on legal marijuana, he went to a doctor to see about getting a card. Also, spent time working in a dispensary, all sorts of different things. Spent time working in a dispensary, and while doing this, like interviewed, customers, interviewed, his fellow coworkers, and people that were very passionate on both sides of the issue. So, the way it works, and I'm going just off this episode because this is all I've really seen. This is the most I've seen of it. But you go to a doctor and you say, you have you have some sort of chronic condition, could be back pain, neck pain, something like that. They, ask if you've, seen a regular doctor and, what measures have they taken and, have those measures worked and things like that. You fill out some forms, you have a health examination, and then the doctor will determine whether or not you qualify for this card. And then they, they issue you this ID with your photo and, and then you're able to go to a dispensary and buy a certain degree of product from a legal dispensary.
So I guess, is there limits you can buy? So you can buy like grade 3, grade 2, grade 1, or is it?
Well, no.
Is it amount?
It's an amount. You're only able to buy so much at a time. Like you can't buy 80 pounds because you have the money.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
You're only allowed to buy a certain amount. Like I don't know if they go by per day or per week. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I heard there's somebody I know that knows somebody that lives out there that I guess they went into the doctor and did that whole thing, and the doctor's like, okay, well, why do you think you need medical marijuana? And the person's like, well, I'm depressed because I can't smoke marijuana. He's like, all right, good enough for me, and wrote her a prescription. Like, to me, if it's to that point, it's like you might as well just legalize it, because then, I mean, I think Colorado's seen some pretty good benefit out of that.
From the statistics I've read so far, I mean, in this last, we're coming up on the, we've passed the 1-year anniversary of this legal marijuana taking effect in Colorado, and I think in that year they generated like $34 million just in tax revenue. I mean, that's just taxes going to the state. $34 million of taxes going to the state based off just based off sales.
That's not counting the jobs that's created and the taxes they're making off of that and all the other stuff.
Correct. And also, I think, as far as I know, like around the Denver area, I think violent crime has dropped. I don't know if it's been across the board, but there's been like a 10% drop, I want to say. I'm not, not totally sure, but
Gotcha.
But yeah, okay. So, this formula was inspired by its historical use of cannabis as an aphrodisiac. Some users, if it can get some users high, but most report feeling more relaxed. The potion has given some people multiple orgasms.
Nice. Those are always good.
Right? I've never had one, but I mean, from what I understand, they're quite wonderful. Let's see. It's designed to be used by women 30 minutes before having sex. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think it's this like, I'll spray it and then like go have a night out and then come back. Like,
gotcha.
That's your, it's half an hour.
Okay. So that makes sense. So it's not really kind of a long lasting thing. It's kind of just to get the show started, and then it's, you kind of have that window you need to actually use it.
Draw back the curtain on Lady Town.
That should be the name of our next podcast.
Actually, you know what it should be? It should be like, do you remember the Who Framed Roger Rabbit when he went through the tunnel into Toontown? Like he's driving through the tunnel, and then all of a sudden, like this curtain pulls up, and it's like, boop, and then like this cartoon sung, and these cartoon flowers start singing.
What are they gonna sing?
What a wonderful day.
Just backgrounds of
yeah.
I like it.
That's what I'm saying. You get home from work after a long day, and you see that bottle on the edge of the dresser, and you know that bottle's been used. Then you're thinking, oh, it's happening.
You know how,
or actually, what probably happened is that while you were at work, she used it and then just took care of business on her own,
probably,
and then forgot to put the bottle back. It's kind of like when we leave porn in the DVD player.
Yeah, it's like
she leaves the bottle out. So like a half hour goes by, and you're like, so what's going on?
What's funny?
She's like, what are you talking about? And I'm like,
Yeah,
clock.
so
So it's about it's 5:30.
I got home at 5.
Anything you want to do right now?
No, I'm good.
And she's like, I'm kind of hungry. Like, all right, I know what you're hungry for. What are you doing?
Well, it's funny because it's like, so if you saw that, like, it just frustrates you more because it's like, oh, because then you're thinking about what happened.
Right.
But in the reverse, like, she comes home, finds the porn DVD in there, and she's like, what is this? This is disgusting. Go to your room.
I know what happened.
You're such a pig.
I know what happened, and it disgusts me. So yeah, that I read that story and I was like, oh, that's awesome. Because I mean, who doesn't love multiple orgasms? I'm a huge advocate for the women here. Like I am, I want you guys to have all the orgasms in the world, except like one for me.
I always remember, because didn't you say like your big thing was like, listen, I will trade the ability to pee standing up to have multiple orgasms.
Oh, I would totally do that.
Yeah, definitely.
Like I feel like when it comes to the genetic lottery, like women totally got it with the multiple orgasms thing. And I've argued with women. They're like, "Well, you get to pee standing up." I'm like, I was like, "You can have that." I was like, "We can trade." I was like, "You give me multiple orgasms and I will give you peeing standing up." And I think that's more than fair.
Yeah, and pee standing up really isn't all it's built to be.
No, not really. Not really.
It's kind of nice, I guess. You can kind of go wherever and just have to shake it and you're good. But, how often are you peeing in the woods?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I'm trying to think of something else. I'll give them something else. Like they can have, I don't know. Let's see. I can't think of anything right now.
Facial hair? You want to give them facial hair?
No, I don't want to give them facial hair. I think that's that's more not giving them facial hair. I think is better for them.
Yeah, probably.
I'm doing this for you, not for me.
I think it's awesome that this whole medical marijuana and legalized marijuana is kind of like people like, okay, so they can smoke it, they can put it in things to eat it to get high. It's like, what other things can we use this for to like benefit the human race?
That's the thing. Is like, doesn't it seem like there's like 8 million uses for it? Like, and not just. I mean, yeah, you can smoke it, and yeah, you can apparently make vagina spray out of it. Ladytown spray. You know what? If I should like invest in this, and I'll have one, and I'll call it Ladytown.
Yeah, I think you need to build your own.
Happy
Ladytown
days in Ladytown. But not only that, I actually watched this entire documentary from like the 80s on the use of hemp as paper, like not actual marijuana hemp. Like not hemp that you like grow and then harvest it and smoke it. This kind of hemp is so, the THC level in it is so low that it's actually not even worth using for those kind of purposes.
Gotcha. Because that's
it's
the stuff
more used. Yeah, this is more used to like make paper and rope and things like that, and clothing and whatever.
That's always like the hemp jewelry and stuff like that. That's what they use.
Yeah. I guess that's like a different kind of strain of hemp. Like it's not all just one plant.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I watched this whole documentary on hemp and how like it would be, how the use of hemp would be not only good for the paper industry because it's super cheap to grow and you can grow way more. It's a lot. You can get a lot more out of a, small acreage with a field of hemp than you can with a forest of trees.
That's probably less destructive to the ecosystem too.
I would think so too, because you're growing a simple plant and you're also growing it in a very tight space, and you're not chopping down, 20 acres of forest to build a chair.
Yeah.
So yeah. Apparently, we here at the Language of Bromance are very into the legalization of marijuana, even though 50% of our hosts have never done it.
Yeah, I've never smoked it. I mean, everything I've heard, I don't really understand why it shouldn't be. I mean, you look at like Colorado and Washington, it looks like it's done well. So I'm always kind of curious if they do legalize it, what that'll do for like drug testing at work and things like that. If because I
Well,
could
as
see,
far as I know, like that still applies because I mean things like drug testing and stuff like that. Uh, that's like an employment policy.
yeah, yeah,
You know, like you go to apply somewhere and they're like, pee in this cup. And then you're like, well, I can legally smoke it. And they're like, well, that may be true, but if you want to work here, you need to pee in this cup and it needs to be clean.
mm-hmm. Yeah. It's the only down. I wonder if that's if they could figure out like the level that you're at because
I heard that's something they're working on. I don't know if they've actually developed it yet, but I heard that's something that they are working on. Because I agree. I think it should be, you know, if we're at the point where we're legalizing it, then I think there should be like a, you know, like a breathalyzer system
mm-hmm.
where it's, you know, if you're over this limit, then you're considered under the influence. If you're under this limit, then, you know, you're totally fine.
Yeah, but the problem, right, is that they just can't tell what level you're at. It's just like you just tested positive, so we don't know if you're high right now or if you smoked it, a week
Yeah,
ago or what the deal
as far
is.
as I know, that's the way it works right now, which is sad.
That is sad because that's always what I thought funny is because if I work at a place where they say that that's still not allowed, it's like, oh great, well I've never smoked it, now it's legal and I still can't smoke it or try it.
Exactly right. As far as I know, in Illinois, it is that like Illinois was the most recent state to pass it on a medical scale. So
Is that
it might be.
still?
There
That's
might
still.
be.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was gonna say there. So you might be seeing some dispensaries. I did hear that apparently, if you want to open a dispensary, in terms of medical marijuana laws, from what I understand, Illinois is by far going to be the strictest.
Okay.
From what I understand, to open up this is secondhand information, but to open a dispensary, I think there's an application fee of multiple thousands of dollars just to get just to apply for a license to dispense it.
Hmm.
So I don't know. What were you gonna say?
I was just curious about like what stage it was at, because you can't buy it right now, right? It's just they've decided to legalize it. Now they're just going through the formalities of what they need to do to get it actually like sellable.
Right. I think they're working on the the implementation of it, and like I said, accepting applications for people that want to open up a dispensary in their local town. Coming to you.
That would seem like that'd be a pretty good gig. Everybody that seems that would want to buy it would be in a good mood.
You would think everybody would. I would think that you would get two kinds of people. I think you would get people that are just in general wanting to get stoned, in which case they're happy. They're walking in, they're like la la la, everything's great. Case number two would be the people that are using it to like maintain some form of chronic pain, in which case they're happy to have it.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, I'm going to go get this and this is going to help. And they're going to go up to the counter and be like, I'm so glad you guys are here because this is the only thing that works for me. Like you're not going to get an angry person at the counter, I don't think. Like I would think that would be a very like nice fucking mellow job. What do you do? I work in the pot store.
I mean, is it one of those things too? If you go and it's like, oh, well, they don't have my strain that I love. I mean, do they get real upset with that, or do you think those
I
are the
wouldn't
kind?
think so.
Okay.
They just
It's like,
I don't know, but
it's like, oh, what's close to it? Well, this thing's probably the closest. It's like, all right, I'll take that.
Well, I think when it comes to like different strains, it's all about like what specifically type of effect you're wanting. Are you wanting something that's like that like creates like a very mellow, relaxing feeling, or like a hyper kind of like happy feeling, or do you just want to like take it to like relax your body? Or because the way I understand it, different strains create different effects. That's why that's why there are different strains, is because it's like, well, this one helps with this and this one helps with this, and if you have back pain, well, you should try this, or this.
So like if they're out of like, because there's probably like multiple kinds of like the back pain kind of marijuana, right? Like it's like this is back pain 101, this is back pain 75. They're just like,
yeah.
because it's not like, because it seems like with like the only thing I can compare it to, I guess, is like alcohol. And it's like if you're out of this type of whiskey, like somebody's gonna get pissed because like that's the only kind of whiskey I can drink. I can't drink any other kind of whiskey.
Right, but I think with marijuana, it's like what you don't have OG Kush. Well, no, but we have Girl Scout cookies, and then you're like, oh, okay, why not? Sure, I'll give it a shot.
Interesting.
But I agree with you. Like you're not gonna deal with angry people behind the counter.
And it seems like there's a decent amount of money in it, because I know like when Colorado was like first opened up, like the first sales, like didn't they sell out like within a day or so?
I think the day one was $1 million, like in total retail sale. So $1 million from all the dispensaries in one day. And there weren't that many dispensaries, up and running by January 1st.
Mm-hmm. So do you think we're going to get to the point where you could buy like pot online and get it sent to you? Like you can go to Amazon Green and buy your... Because I know you can do that with like liquor and stuff. It's some states don't allow it, but for the most part you can buy liquor online.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like marijuana is going to be kind of a state by state issue, which I'm totally fine with. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with this kind of issue being delegated to the states and not having this like overt federal presence. Because I mean, because the thing with a federal presence is it takes, with the Controlled Substances Act, like we need like we need Congress to change that shit.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I mean, you look at like California, it's technically still illegal. So, I mean, there have been cases of, dispensaries and stuff like that being raided by federal agents because while it may be legal in California, it's still technically illegal on a federal level. And so,
because people have been, oh, go ahead, sorry.
No, I'm just saying it's this weird blurry line.
Well, because then a lot of people are getting like arrested and charged for possession if they're like in a national park or things like that, like something that's a federal considered grounds.
Yeah, fuck if I know. I don't know. All I know is I am totally down for trying a bottle of this.
Definitely.
I want some spray. I want Lady Town.
Well, so speaking of kind of government intervention and whatnot, I found a kind of interesting story. So I guess in 1910, one of my favorite presidents, I don't know if he's really my favorite president, but whatever, President Roosevelt, I guess, was supporting this bill.
Why would he be your favorite president?
I don't know. I think they're all my favorite presidents.
I actually heard that some was it Christopher Nolan? Christopher Nolan compared Teddy Roosevelt to Batman.
All right.
Like when he I don't remember what it was. I want to say it was actually a show I watched on the History Channel. Go figure. And it was Christopher Nolan was talking about what am I sure of?
I was going to say, are you sure that it wasn't the Discovery Channel trying to say that Teddy Roosevelt was Batman?
Maybe. And then there's a guy with fucked up hair that's like, Batman. Aliens. But he was saying how, like, when he was talking to, I don't remember which actor, I want to say it was Christian Bale, he said, Bruce Wayne is Teddy Roosevelt. Because apparently Teddy Roosevelt was, he came from the Roosevelts, which was a very wealthy family. And his wife and his mother died on the same day.
Oh, wow.
I didn't know this either. So they died on the same day. I guess it was the exact same day.
Oh, wow.
So, apparently he was very distraught and very kind of bitter and whatever. So he went and joined. He went he fought in the war, the Spanish American War. He joined with a group called the Rough Riders.
Mm-hmm.
They went through some battles. There was one battle in particular that I can't think of the name of. It escapes me. But he was basically considered a war hero at that point. So he comes back to New York City after this long exodus. Fighting a war and everything. He comes back and he gets the job. He gets the job of police commissioner in New York City. And there's all these stories about him, like commanding his officers, in the streets. There's stories of him like riding a bike through the streets of New York in the middle of the night,
just trying to get attacked or mugged.
Well, no, he was like commanding his officers. It was like a general and is sending his troops into battle. He's like riding this bike through the streets of New York, and he was this very uphold the laws and maintain justice and things like that.
Okay, well, this story seems to fit like that because so we all know there's a famous villainous character in the Batman series, Poison Ivy.
Oh.
So apparently, in 1910, there was this invasive plant species in Louisiana, and I guess in Louisiana at this time, people were really hungry as well. So President Roosevelt supported this bill that would allow for the release of hippopotamuses into Louisiana to, 1, eat the invasive species, and 2, feed the hungry Americans with hippo bacon.
Ooh.
So...
Oh, now you're speaking everybody's language because you're like, ooh, bacon.
Yeah, so
everybody's ears just perked up. Like, everybody, you feel how you want about marijuana, but now, like, everybody's like, oh, wait a minute. Did they say bacon?
Everybody loves bacon.
Like, there's a group of guys sitting around, like, gathered around somebody's phone right now listening to this podcast going, did they say bacon? I heard bacon.
What kind of bacon are they cooking over there? Is this a bacon podcast? I'm subscribing.
Oh, give me bacon. Bacon. It's bacon. But
yeah,
so hippo bacon?
Hippo bacon. I haven't had it apparently. They were going to basically call it like lake cow bacon.
Okay.
Because hippos I think are fairly related to cows if I know my
I thought you were talking about the manatee.
Yeah, maybe it's the manatee, yeah.
The manatee, sea cow. Also known as the sea cow.
But yeah, because this was pretty close to the time of the Depression. So people were hungry and needed food. So they were just going to release these things to get rid of all these bad plants, and then go out, cut you up a hippo, and eat it.
What are hippos now? Are hippos considered like a endangered species?
I think they are, if I remember correctly.
So the whole endangered species thing might have happened faster.
Yeah, probably. I'm trying to see if they say specifically why it didn't go through. But I know hippos are responsible for more deaths in Africa than like lions and crocodiles.
I know. What movie was that? Congo? Did you ever see Congo?
Ooh, long time ago.
Where like that they're on the little rafts, the little inflatable rafts, and they're going across this lake, and then they get attacked by hippos.
Well, because they I think what happens is they just kind of float around, but then like the boat bumps into them, and they freak out and just bite the shit out of it.
Yeah, they bite the boats. And like hippos are fucking huge.
Yeah. Well, it's awesome because like I don't know if you've ever seen these shows, but like where they show like hippos and crocodiles together. A baby hippo, they showed this video. It was swimming between crocodiles, all by itself, because the crocodiles know it's like if we kill this thing, which we could easily do because it's a baby, we're gonna have like 10 huge ass hippos coming at us, and we can't kill the big ones.
I was gonna ask, because you said Louisiana, right, where they were talking about the plants.
Yeah, Louisiana.
Yeah, because I was like Louisiana, that's like swampland. I'm like, what about alligators?
Yeah, the alligators. I'm sure.
I would think that, yeah, because like what you're saying about the crocodiles, like, Because I was thinking, like, well, if they release a bunch of hippos, like, the gators would probably eat them. But no, apparently not, according to the fact that hippos are mean as shit.
I think they might eat one or two, but then they'd probably quickly learn that if you attack a little one, there's going to be a bunch of big ones coming at you.
See, you're all worried about sharks. Now I'm worried about hippos.
I'm pretty sure that in the scale of the animal species that kill humans, I think they're at the top.
It's the shark of the jungle. The jungle shark.
Jungle shark.
Jungle shark.
Boat goes in the water. Hippo in the water. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if they didn't really worry about that because there are a lot of boaters that like, crawfish and they, hunt alligators and stuff like that. So I wonder if the release of that would have caused, more deaths than they would have, anticipated.
Right? Because like some drunk redneck could be like, I'm going to fuck with this hippo. Hold my PBR. Come here, little hippo.
And I don't think...
God!
I think that's what a hippo sounds like.
The hippo's angry. I don't know what happened, but the hippo's angry.
But I don't know how easy it would be to kill a hippo either because they're so massive and I believe their like skin and stuff is super thick. So it's
right. I mean, they have special guns for elephants. They call them elephant guns. And they're big fuck off guns. I wonder if they have like a hippo gun.
It's probably equivalent to that, but the bad thing is like they're underwater.
Yeah.
So what you can actually hit so much smaller. So I mean, and could you imagine trying to drag one of those out of the water?
Oh Jesus.
So let's say you do end up shooting one. It's like, okay, we're gonna have hippo bacon for the county for a month, and it's like, oh shit, it's at the bottom of this, bayou or whatever, and we're gonna have to try and drag it out.
Yeah.
So by the time you do get hooked up, there's going to be the alligators there probably to take care of whatever you can't get on. So it's like a big-ass tug-of-war between humans, alligators, and hippos.
Yeah. So you've just made the swamp a more dangerous place, if that was possible.
Yeah, apparently.
That's fucked up. See, you'd have this war between hippos and alligators and humans, and honestly, it seems like the hippos kind of have the advantage.
Oh, I would, yeah, by far. 'Cause, I mean, they would take out the alligators one by one.
Right, and then, people, they have, their thing or whatever, but, like, I would think that people... I think it'd be a lot easier for a hippo to take out a human than maybe for a human to take out a hippo. At least in terms of, like, we're gonna go hippo hunting. I don't think that... There's a chance that might not fare well.
Yeah, because you see they have all these kind of like alligator hunts, and I mean they look really dangerous, but the idea behind that is they like have like some kind of like fishing hook hanging up off of a tree. Alligator bites it, you pull it up, and then try to get close to the boat and shoot it.
Right? Yeah, you're kind of at a distance and whatever and things like that. But like a hippo,
yeah, you're not hooking that up to anything and pulling it. And they're more packs, I believe, because they live together. Like they kind of live together.
Yeah, it's like with deer. It's not like, like the deer is not going to come up and like kick you in the face. I mean, it might, but deer run away from you. They don't run towards you. Like hippos to me seem like they'd be like, this motherfucker just tried to shoot at me.
Yeah, it's the opposite of like, so when you're hunting for a deer and it's like, oh shit, the deer saw me. I didn't see it. The deer saw me first and ran away.
Right.
With this,
with hippos, it's like, Gladys, watch my baby. I'm taking this motherfucker out.
You come back all like gouged and cut up, and it's like, what happens? Like the hippo saw me first. I'm lucky to be alive.
Stay out of the swamp, Tom. Stay out of the swamp. Hippos in that there swamp. Hippos are fucking. See, yeah, hippos are dangerous. Everything I needed to learn about hippos, I learned in that little like 2-minute scene in Congo. Because everything I learned from movies. That's just me.
That's the best place to look for them. And I guess some of the reasons that this didn't really come to fruition, one of the big questions they had is, since the hippos were so large, that how they would get them to stockyards kind of for butchering, like in Chicago and stuff. So that was one of the reasons they kind of stayed away from it, is just because, it's one of those things that this big-ass animal, we do end up harvesting it, but how do we get it to the stockyard so we can actually get the food out to people? because it wasn't just food for Louisiana that they're hoping for. They were hoping for food for like Chicago, California, all over the place.
Yeah, because I mean, like, I don't know. A hippo's probably bigger than a cow. It's got to be.
Oh yeah,
I think it's way bigger than a cow.
They're thousands of pounds.
And plus, like when it comes to cows, it's like, it's like, hey, everybody get on the train car. We're going on a ride, and the cows are like, okay, whatever. Cows are stupid. The cow gets on the train car, and they're like, I wonder where we're going. I wonder if there's food there.
Yeah. So
hey, what's that big knife? And dead. But like with a hippo, I would think like it's not like you can be like, all right, hippo, get on the train. Like the hippo would be like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Like you see, I'm picturing like a train that's like going down the track, and then all of a sudden like the wall, a wall of one of the cars like explodes, and then like this hippo jumps out. It's like, fuck this.
Yeah, I've played Hungry Hungry Hippos. It never turns out well.
Right?
But yeah, so a cow is like 640 kilograms, and an adult male is 1,500 kilograms.
So it's twice the size.
Yeah.
So we're talking about an animal
size,
that's an animal that's twice the size of a cow.
Has tusks.
And has a history of being extremely aggressive.
Yeah, hippos, you don't want to see them angry because, you wouldn't like them when they're angry. But, I mean, it's just crazy because people always talk about, like, fears of... so this is a great point. I've seen a video of a guy who raised a crocodile that's, like, 20 foot now that he swims with still. Like, the crocodile's like, you're my friend because has food and isn't hungry.
Hey, crocodile! Crocodile!
But you're not going to see that with a hippo because even if you raise a hippo, I would assume that, if it's in the wild and, like, you get too close to it or piss it off, it's going to chomp you in half.
That's what I'm saying. Like... Yeah, like hippos. Exactly. Hippos have a history of being an aggressive animal.
It's like they have a road rage because, like, you're driving down and, like, you just barely bump into and it's like, what the fuck, man? Chomp.
And dead.
I don't even want to see your insurance card.
I eat your face.
You can't buff this out of this hide.
Yeah. Fuck with me. Fuck with a hippo, you don't get the horns, you get your head fucking eaten.
Oh yeah, because I mean, I believe they can open their mouths like almost 180 degrees.
Exactly, I've seen hungry hippos.
But it's crazy. Like I just saw a recent video of these guys who are in the water and there's a big shark kind of swimming around it, and bumped into their boat a little bit. But it's like that if that was reversed and you're in like the Amazon and it was a hippo. Like, the shark's just bumping into your boat like, what the fuck is this? Hippo's like, what the fuck is this? Chomp!
Yeah.
Game over.
See, now I'm wondering, like, have you developed a new fear? Is the fear of hippos replaced the fear of sharks?
I mean, I think it's one of those things that, like, I'll probably swim in the ocean, so the odds of me seeing a shark are better than the odds of a hippo, because there's nothing in me that says, hey, swimming in the Amazon's a good idea.
And, like, I've been to zoos, and, like, I don't recall seeing hippos at the zoo. Maybe
they have. I know they've got one spot where they're pretty cool because you can actually see. Like a lot of zoos, I think have developed these like glass where it's under the water, so you can see the hippo swimming.
Oh, okay.
So I mean, they can be domesticated to an extent, but I feel like it's probably still one of those things that you're not going to see some dude jumping in the water swimming with them. Because I mean, there's no way. Like if you do that with a crocodile or an alligator, if it's small enough, you can get a hold of its mouth, and if you're trained, you know what you can do.
Yeah.
I mean, if a hippo flips out, you're screwed.
Right? Because the thing's fucking twice as big as a cow.
Yeah, it can trample you, it can drown you, and if it doesn't do any of those things, it can just chomp you in half.
Yeah. Come here, motherfucker.
Because you've seen those tusks. They're like 1.5 feet, 2 foot long.
I would say that I am way more scared of hippos than sharks. Like, I would get in a cage and go down under the water with a bunch of sharks. But I don't think I would go in a cage and, like, go down to look at the hippos. Yeah, because to me, like a shark, they'll bang up on the cage. I mean, like, even Jaws. Like, you look at, like, Jaws, like I mean, fictional fucking movie, but that was a big-ass goddamn shark. You know what I'm saying? But, like, Jaws, like, comes up on the shark cage and is, like, banging around and, like, chomping in there and shit like that. But did Richard Dreyfuss die?
Nope.
No, he did not die. He did not die in that fucking shark cage.
Reverse that and Jaws is a hippo, and
Right? If now, like a hippo, to me, I think I'm probably like imagining this fucking weird in my head, but like a hippo is so fucking huge. I imagine it just like chomp, 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 and just like crush that cage in on yourself.
but even with like sharks, you could be in the cage in the water with a shark, multiple sharks, and they're all just going to bang up against it. Like I've seen some videos where like the cage breaks, but that's probably just it was set up incorrectly or something like that.
Sure.
If one hippo couldn't chomp a cage, I guarantee you 2 or 3 could very easily.
Oh yeah, hippos are pack animals, but I wonder like do they like attack as a pack?
I believe so because that was my impression. This documentary I saw years and years ago.
Like I wonder if hippos are like one hippo's talking to the other hippo, be like, this motherfucker just bumped me with his goddamn inflatable raft.
It's like, he fucking did what? With an inflatable raft? Does he know who the fuck we are?
Yeah, I know. Fuck that. We're fucking hippos. You know what? You take one side, I'll take the other side, and then when these fuckers fall in the water, then we're gonna sit on them, and then we're gonna eat their heads.
And we're not even going to swallow. We're going to spit it out because we're plant
Right?
eaters.
We're going to spit them out so that way when the next motherfucker comes by on his inflatable raft and sees heads floating in the water, then we're just going to wiggle our ears at him. And then he's going to be like, yeah, that was us.
And
watch where you're paddling your goddamn inflatable raft.
Then Greg,
bitch.
the other hippo in the group, kind of goes up and bumps the raft. And it's like, those fuckers did it again.
It's like, had enough of this shit.
It's like, are we going to fuck with these guys? No. We're going to kill them. Screw that. It always seems like the herbivores are the most dangerous animals. Like elephants. Like, you're not going to fuck with an elephant. And it's not going to eat you. It's just going to kill you because it sees you as a threat.
Yeah.
Which I wonder what's worse. Is it worse to be killed because you're seen as a threat or killed because you're seen as a cheeseburger?
See, I don't know. Like, well, I think that just comes up with the whole thing. Like, do you want to be eaten?
Yeah.
Like, would you rather be? If you were killed, do you want to be eaten? If you were killed by a wild animal, like, do you want to end up as somebody as an animal shit?
I don't know. So like if an elephant like trampled me, it'd be like, dude, I wasn't gonna do anything to you. Like, what's the deal? But like if a lion attacks me and eats me, it's like, well, it was doing it because that's
right?
what it was meant to do. It's hungry.
A lion's like, I'm hungry. I'm gonna eat your face because I'm hungry. But like a hippo's like, you piss me the fuck off.
Yeah.
Like it's the equivalent of like you rear end somebody's car and they get out of the car and shoot you in the face.
Yeah. It's like, dude, I've got insurance. We're okay. We'll get it fixed.
Yeah. And then he's like, fuck your insurance.
I don't have insurance. I'm a fucking hippo. It's like, why the fuck's a hippo driving a car? So I guess so that's what's gonna happen is you're gonna rear end somebody next time and like you're like, fuck, all right, let me look for my insurance card. And when you look back up, there's just gonna be this hippo.
You see this big hippo face and its ears are wiggling. And you're like, oh fuck.
Like 3 more cars pull up and 3 more hippos come out.
Like you look at your wife and your wife's like, I don't know, just gotta go. No questions, just get out of here.
That's awesome. And all because you bought some vagina spray and was trying to hurry to get home.
Yeah, see, you want to know how to relax a hippo? I'll tell you right now how you relax a hippo.
That's what they need to try that stuff out to see if like maybe that can be
make
like
sweet love to a hippo.
Well, I was thinking like bear repellent,
Oh.
Shark repellent, because you squirt it with that, and it's like, I was gonna eat you, but after that little squirt, you're looking pretty good.
Actually, you know what? It'd be like that dolphin.
Ah, Stinky. Got to keep that stuff away from Stinky. He's already got too much.
So I mean, like, I don't know. Would you see? So now this begs the question: do you want to be eaten by a hippo, or would you rather be raped to death by a hippo?
That seems like it's like, well, it seems like this would happen in jail, I guess.
Death by hippo, snoo snoo.
Oh, mercy. All right. Well, do you have any Richard's closing thoughts?
Don't fuck with a hippo, and anything to improve a female, anything to create. I am pro multiple orgasms for women. So I don't understand how anyone can't be.
Yeah, they're just like, why can't you be for that? Even if you don't like lady parts, like you still would be for that.
Right?
It's like, sure, let them enjoy it as much as they can.
Right? Let's get multiples on Lady Town.
All right. Well, if there's nothing else, I'll do a little housekeeping.
Housekeeping with nah, I got nothing.
All right. Well, I'm doing this from memory, so let's see if I can get this right.
Ooh, here we go.
All right. So you can follow us at Language of Bro on Twitter. If you want to follow us on Facebook, we're on Facebook, iTunes, Stitcher.
Yes.
Oh man, this is really hard without that paper.
Don't forget our email at.
Yeah, our email is or it's eatthebeaver@languageofbro.com.
Yes.
Languageofbromance.com. Man, this is really hard without that. Without my script. Let's see what else is there. I'm forgetting one thing, I think.
That would be
is it a
check
network?
us out on all our regular venues as well as the Pod Bros Network.
And there's a brand new logo for Pod Bros, so if you check it out, let them know. It looks amazing.
It's so pretty.
I think it looks good. Looks real good. All right. Well, is there anything else you want to add before we close her out?
No.
All right. And this part I know how to do. So that's all the bromance we have for this show. I'm Shawn.
And I'm Richard.
And I say we eat the beaver.
Or the hippo bacon.
With vagina spray.
Yes.